so I'm not talking room. Chris is in our command center. He's got everything handled over here. He's going to be letting people in on Zoom, and I get to talk to you guys. So thank you so much. I'm Janine Pugh. I am the Director of Lead Generation and Recruiting for the KBT Realty Group. We don't live here. We live at the airport. Our team has about 25, 26 people on it, and there just wasn't enough office space here. So for the last couple of years, we've been living out of the airport across from the VA. So if you ever drive by, head me out of town, feel free to stop in, see us, say hello. We'd love to meet you. We are here today because we are going to start with session one, power session one of building validity and positioning. We are talking about creating your unique selling proposition, or your USP. So a lot of times agents think that they aren't a real estate agent until they potentially have their business cards, or they've got their website up, or they've got their list of sphere people that they need to go. So they, unfortunately, we use the phrase, they've got analysis paralysis. They're not sure what the next step is. They don't think that they can actually do it. But once you've been through the class and you've taken the test and you have gotten that little piece of paper in your hand that says you are a North Carolina State Realtor, you're ready to go. So now it's just about creating your elevator speech and knowing how to talk to people and present yourself to the public so that they know what you do for a living. Good morning, how are you? Good morning, how are you? I'm good, I'm doing. Let's see. So in your paperwork, this is going to be an interactive class. So you're not going to have to listen to me for the entire hour. I'm going to call on some of you, or if you want to volunteer, that'd be great, to read part of it. And then there's going to be little bits of work to be done, and then sharing your thoughts and comments for each section. Okay. KBT, we've got a phrase: if you don't speak up during our daily Zoom meetings that we have every day at 8:15, you get voluntold. So please participate with me so I don't have to pick on somebody and make it uncomfortable. So just raise your hand. We're all friends and we're all going to have a great time for the next hour or so. Okay. So on page one, like I just said, if you're a wholly qualified and competent real estate agent, you're able to deliver superior customer service and give your customers the professional, life-changing advice. And this is on page 4. I watched one of the instructors the other day talk about this class, and her comment was to get away from the word of customer service, because what happens when something goes wrong? James, you got something wrong. You got your dishwasher broke at home. What are you going to do?
Call a professional. And
you're going to call customer service and you're going to complain that something's broken, something's not working right. So instead, this instructor suggested talking about thinking in terms of the customer experience. Think about the Disney experience, something to be happy about, something to enjoy, not customer service, which is like tech support where you got to complain that something's not working right. Okay, so just maybe change your mindset up a little bit and think about having it be a pleasant experience and not something with a problem, because customer service kind of has that negative connotation to it. So on page 4, you see your picture of a much younger Gary Keller. Somebody want to read that for me? That whole little, that starts with Gary Keller. Gary Keller tells a story.
Gary Keller tells a story of being a team leader and watching agents get caught up in the image trap. He says, what happened is agents would get into real estate, but then feel like they could not take action until they had business cards. I'm telling you, they literally would not do anything until they had their business cards in their hands, because they didn't think they were valid business people without business card. This never ceased to surprise and amaze me. It's never been the business card that makes you a valid real estate professional. Validity is nothing more than feeling at your core very good and confident about who you are and communicating that value to potential customers. Validity is the customer believing and trusting their business to you. I always just tell those agents to stop waiting on the business cards and get out in the marketplace.
Okay, so do you guys all agree with that? That as soon as you were licensed, you were like so excited to start telling everybody, hey, I got my license, I can help you, I can help refer you anywhere in the country, your family, your friends. You didn't have to wait to get your website up. You didn't have to wait to do anything. You can just jump right in and start going, but you need to know what to say. You need to know how to present yourself in the public, and so that when I walk up to Monica and say, hey, what do you do? And you're able to tell me what you do for a living. Instead of going, well, okay, so that's what we're gonna work on today. So we're gonna tuck away our modesty, and we're gonna talk about us. This is not about being embarrassed, about bragging about what you've done in your past life, because everything that you have done up until today helped create who you are and is gonna be of value to the people that you're gonna help going forward, okay? So page 5. I guess I should change the screen here. All right, Chris, if you can make the thing go forward, that would be great. All right, so page 5 somewhere. Let me see. There we go. There we go. All right, so we're going to learn today for our personal validity how to describe yourself, and we're going to learn how others describe you. So how others describe you. So it's a two-pronged event. So we got to know how we feel about ourselves, and we have to know how the people that know us, love us, like us, feel about us also, using the adjectives that they would describe us, okay? We're gonna work on our positioning and define our customer experience, cross out the word service, our customer experience, and that's how we treat people. So when you're having a transaction with another agent, are you friendly with that agent? Are you sharp with that agent? Do you get into a little bit of a tussle with them? So if you treat somebody well, hopefully they're going to treat you well on the other side, okay? And then we're going to work on creating our value proposition, which goes into finally our unique selling proposition, our elevator speech, okay? Page 6. So this course is one of 11 different courses that build up through the KW University program. So we are right now at number 1, validity and positioning, and you're going to see this map in every course. So once you know your unique selling proposition, your elevator speech as it is, it's going to be very easy to go following into the next 10 steps. Okay, so this is going to show up on everything that you do in the next, I think Chris said we're going to do sessions 2 and 3 also. You'll see this map again. So this is based on the lead generation course of 36-12-3. Do anybody here know exactly what that means? 36-12-3? Okay, it's about having 36 transactions in 12 months, but dedicating 3 hours a day to your lead gen time to make that happen. And they suggest that your lead gen time is always done in the morning, because if your day goes sideways, the first thing that gets kicked off your calendar is your lead gen time, which is unfortunate, but it happens in our world. So Keller Williams world, life begins, if you start lead generating at 8 a.m., life begins at 11:01, because you're going to lead generate from 8 to 11, 9 to 12, whatever you do, okay?
So, what was the 12 again? I'm sorry.
12 months.
12 months, okay.
36 transactions
12
in
months,
12
yeah.
months, dedicating 3 hours a day to your lead gen time. Okay. So we're going to get into personal validity now. So what makes you valid? Okay, who are you? Who are you? There's a song. Who sings that song? Oh, the Who. Who are you? Okay. So you are already everything that you need to do to be able to communicate with your customers. There's nothing that you need to buy. There's nothing that has to be printed. There's nothing that else has to be made in order for you to be a valid real estate professional. You already are. You're here. Okay. So somebody read that middle box for me. What makes you valid?
The knowledge, attitudes, skills, and beliefs you already have.
Yep. So every day you wake up, and do you honestly know and feel and accept the fact that you are a realtor? Or are you going, I think I'm still something else? We're realtors. This is what we do. We get up every morning, we know we're going to be here to help somebody. Okay. So the first step, we're going to work on the words and phrases that you're going to use to describe yourself. And then we're going to work on the words and phrases that others use to describe you. We're going to actually take out our phones at some point and text a friend or a former coworker and ask them for words to describe you, because maybe they're going to have a better word for you than you got for yourself. And we're going to look at getting previous reviews from past clients or other people from our past industries. Because your reviews that you have posting up on your Facebook, on your Google My Business, whatever it is you're using, doesn't have to be real estate related. It can be, if you had another career before this, say you were an accountant and you had an entire book of business, those people really appreciated what you did. And you can ask them to give a review, because those reviews, even though they're not real estate related, are still going to speak to your character. They're still going to speak to your position in the community. So don't hesitate to reach back out to non-real estate people for some reviews, okay? It comes from knowing what you bring to the table and knowing that you are capable of handling the situation in front of you. Now, if you get into, you're talking to somebody on the phone, you meet somebody in person, whatever it is, if they ask you a question that you don't honestly have the answer to, it's okay to say, I don't know. I will get back to you on that. I'm not 100% sure about that right now. Let me get back to you. Okay, no harm in doing that. I'd rather everybody go and find an answer or go find a source for the answer than to give erroneous information. Just don't fake it, kind of thing. Okay. All right, page 8. We're going to talk about how to describe yourself. So, no matter what your story is, along the way you've collected knowledge, attitudes, skills, and beliefs that make you uniquely qualified to be a customer's real estate agent. Now, I hadn't quite considered the number one. If you spent the last 10 years or 18 years or 23 years, in my case, raising kids, you have superior group management, conflict resolution, and negotiating skills. Well, dang. Yes, I do. I've got 2 kids of my own. I've got a stepchild. Yeah, conflict resolution, big time in my house. They're all about less than 4 years apart. So there was always something crazy going on in my house. We had to figure out how to work it out. That translates into negotiating. That translates into dealing with a combative agent on the other side of the transaction. Who knew that raising my kids is going to help me do that today? Okay. If you've been the treasurer for your church, you might have impeccable integrity and financial skills. Okay, I was a PTA president. That's not a job I'd really like to ever have again, but the things that I learned doing have translated into our job today. If you've been an engineer, you may excel at implementing systems and handling details. Well, I'm not exactly an engineer, but my dad is, and he taught me everything about linear thinking and getting pro and con lists and looking at A to Z and figuring out everything in between. Who knew that how my dad did stuff at our house was going to help me figure out how to do stuff here at my job? But everything you guys have done in your past has all been the buildup for today. So, how many of you are new to real estate? How many?
I just started in July of last year.
Congratulations. 1 year. Excellent.
Had my license for 18 months, but just started full-time real estate this month.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome.
1 year.
Awesome. That's great. What did y'all do before this?
I was in IT.
Okay. So you're linear thinking.
Yes.
You're going to know A to Z.
Right.
Owned gyms, restaurants.
Managerial skills, knowing how to conflict resolution, scheduling, how to time management, how to time lapse. So you've got all that.
I was a VP of the product development department for Women's Fashion.
Excellent. All right. So lots of managerial skills, lots of getting everything from point A to point B and making it all happen. Brandon?
Bank management for 10 years and then insurance for 10 years.
Okay. So house insurance. Okay. So you've got a little bit of a real estate foot in the toe in the water kind of thing. So you've heard it.
I feel like I've been in real estate my whole life. I grew up, my dad was a contractor, so I grew up building houses, and he invested in properties, and he was a realtor.
And you still became a realtor anyway.
Yeah.
So,
It's funny, I took the course 25 years ago
wow.
and just never did anything with it, and so I had to retake it.
So you had the knowledge,
Yeah.
you just didn't you didn't tell everybody that you actually could do it. So
Right.
that's great. Hey, there were a lot of people, when I took the class, I also got licensed in 97. We had a lot of people back then who were taking it just to have the knowledge, but weren't going through with the license because they didn't want to be responsible for stuff.
But that's when I took it.
That's darn New Yorkers who do that. How are you?
Good.
What did you do before this?
I was in sales in the logistics world, trucking and logistics.
All right, so you've got A to Z, you've got people management and linear thinking, you know what's going on.
Yeah.
Jerry?
I did architecture and commercial construction project management.
Oh, cool. So different form of real estate, but still knowing how to get everything done and getting all your ducks in a row. Sometimes I feel like I've got ducks and sometimes I feel like I have squirrels. So they're going all over the place. Let's see, how many have raised a family? How many have had to deal with, fighting with kids over the dinner table? All right.
Every night.
Every night. So not playing favorites to one, trying to make it all equal for everybody, have it be a win-win so the whole house doesn't get blown up. That's all about bringing that to here to making the deals work too, okay? And so real estate, commercially, real estate contracts, and insurance.
MLS because he was selling his own property and it got put on hold.
Already.
All right, so everybody that's watching this on Zoom, how many, show of hands in the chat box, how many people have raised a family and they're dealing with conflict resolution with their kids? Yep, Chris got it, you know that. All right, so it's hard to watch the Zoom screen, so I'm relying on Chris to keep eyes on that for me. So if anybody wants to pop in and say anything, please feel free, unmute yourself and just pop on in, okay? So what we're gonna do now is, in the bottom of the paragraph, when Gary Keller started real estate at the age of 21, he had a real estate degree, but not much else on his resume. They talk about creating your resume and having it be part of your buyer presentation, your listing presentation, to show people what you've done in the past and just how much knowledge you actually have, because it's all about what you have known and gotten to this point, okay? So we're going to describe ourselves. We're going to work on a process right now. We're going to describe ourselves and examine your experience, and we're going to see how we can make it relevant to real estate. So, there we go. All right, so we're going to start with our resumes and what you've done, what you think is relevant to having people know about you, your background, just not every little detail, paid invoices, that kind of thing. But what did you do in your past life that can bring you value to your clients today? Okay, and we're going to add this. You can add this to your listing presentations, buyer presentations, or just your regular conversations when you're talking with people, what you've done over the past 20 years. All right, so let's take a couple of minutes and start writing down the various jobs that you've had for past 10, 15 years, and just start creating, if you don't have a resume already, because not everybody walks around with one in their pocket, but just start putting some notes down about what you've done and how you think that somebody would like to see that, that you meet on the street. Okay, take a couple of minutes to do that. Don't forget, you can put what you took if you have a college degree, if you've got technical degrees, other things outside, other schooling that's important or is important to you. Make sure you include those in your list of what you've achieved in this life. Okay, so from the list that you've got now, for Vanessa, I'm sorry. Tell me what you wrote on your list.
So I own a restaurant, I own a gym, I'm a mom, and I was a director of operations for a staffing company, for an automotive staffing company.
Okay, perfect. So how can you make that relevant to real estate? Let's start with the first one.
Okay.
You were the restaurant?
Mhm.
Okay. You can multitask. You can juggle many things at once. You
Right.
can, so you.
Well, I have a managing partner that does all of that.
You're very good at handing off stuff to other people. You can leverage. You know how to take advantage of other people's skills. to get to the end game. So,
Okay.
makes sense? Nick's staring at me. What is it about you that, you know, you've got great interpersonal skills? You're in a restaurant, you're in a gym, you're constantly talking with people. You're face to face, you know, great interpersonal skills, great managerial skills, great ability to leverage and, you know, meet
Sales.
deadlines. Mhm.
Sales, marketing, all of that.
Yep.
Mhm.
Being able to market, being able to present, you know, something in its best light, its best way forward. Okay? So going forward after today, continue to work on the resume part of building up what you've done and being able to show people what you've got going forward. Okay? I don't know how much I love this thing. Come on. The mouse has to be on the right thing. All right, so on page 10, now some of these stats were pulled more than 2 years ago. So, but they're still pretty close. But on page 10, the most important factors of what a buyer or a seller wanted from NAR stats. Here's like the top 9 things, okay? Not once on here does it say experience. Okay, because you can come in and be a brand new spanking agent and go and land $1 million listing. Okay, I coach for a company in Atlanta. I teach other agents across the country how to actually do lead generation through our dashboard, our CRM, which is Commissions Inc. I got a text last night from one of the teams that I coach, brand new guy on a team. He came in with the mindset that he was only going to call $1 million leads. He was cherry picking. And his team leader was like, look, you gotta call everybody, okay? You never know who's gonna turn into what. He focused on this one person, and last night he got under contract for $1.3 million. First call he's made, first client he's working with. He is brand new. He knows diddly about real estate, but he just landed himself a 1.3 deal, okay? You can do it. It's absolutely possible, whether it's a $100,000 deal or $1 million deal, everybody can do it. Okay, so we start reading. Let's see, who haven't I heard from? Charity. Buyers. What are the top 3 things that buyers say are most important to them?
The agent is honest and trustworthy, the agent's reputation, and agent is friend or family member.
Okay, now, Nick, what are the top 3 things that sellers ask about?
Your reputation as an agent, your honesty and trustworthiness, and knowledge of the neighborhood.
Yep. So number 2 for buyers is agent reputation. Number 1 for sellers is reputation. Number 1 for buyers is honest and trustworthy. Number 2 is honest and trustworthy for sellers. So your reputation is all we have in this world. Don't be a slime bag. Be up and up, be, golden rule, treat everybody the way you want to be treated. And be honest and trustworthy, which all rolls into the exact same thing. So the top 2 things for both buyers and sellers are exactly the same. They're just percentages are a little bit different. Then you go to 3 and 4, and again, they're flipped. So a friend or family member and the knowledge of the neighborhood versus the knowledge of the neighborhood and friend or family. Again, so you got the same 2 things, same 4 things now going with the top 2 categories. All right. Listening. You know the phrase, we tell it to our kids all the time. You got 2 ears, 1 mouth. Listen better, talk less. That's number 5 for both. Okay, listen more than you talk. Ask the right questions, ask the probing questions, but listen to the answers and actually take them in and digest what they're saying to you. Don't be so busy thinking of the next question that you miss what they're saying to you when they're talking to you. Because you don't want to go, huh? I'm sorry, what did you say? Go back about 4 sentences. Understand and listen to what they're saying for you. Okay. Big part of lead gen, big part of what we do. Timeliness and responses. If you tell somebody at 9 o'clock, so I had a call this morning at 8:30, and I said, I'm sorry, I'm teaching a class today. I'll be free after 12. I will call you after 12 o'clock. I have to call this person. I gave her a time that I'm calling her. Okay, if you say you're going to do something, I will email you that later today. Make sure it gets out before later today ends, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever that time is, okay? Say and do what you say you're going to do. Okay, so at the very bottom, it talks about agents' association with a particular firm or their designations. We love Keller Williams. We're here for a very specific reason. And not everybody cares that we're Keller Williams, but we're still going to represent Keller Williams in the best way that we can. And all those alphabet soup that you get after your name, most of the public doesn't know what it means. It's important. It's good for us. It gives us additional knowledge, but the public doesn't seem to really notice it on our business cards. Okay. Go for it. Keep learning. Always be learning, but it's not a requirement for what we do. Okay. So, let's see, listen more, talk less, and page 11. We are going to start describing ourselves. Now, this says 20 minutes. We're going to cut this a little bit shorter than that because we only have a half hour left. So, start describing yourself. We started with the first one. What are some of the jobs you had? What are the key tasks that you did in those jobs? And what were the most important things that can be translated to presenting yourself in the real estate realm? The marketing, the time management, conflict resolution. Okay, and now the second part of that page is about what do you know? Who has been an influence in your life? Okay, for one of the team members that were mentioned earlier in the book, his father was a big influence, his work ethic. Who in your world has influenced you the most to make you the person that you are today? And what kind of specialized knowledge do you have from your past life, from the people that you know, from the classes that you've taken? For me, lead generation was never, ever on my radar. I've now been the director of lead generation for 8 years. It's a job that I love. I didn't even know it existed. And my husband was super, super smart. And when we created KBT, he's like, you're gonna do this. And I was like, okay. I mean, I was a real estate agent. I listed properties, I wrote contracts for buyers. I was good at it, but I'm really, really good at what I do now. Didn't even know it was a thing, but everything that I had done in my life up to that point, it was like I was made for this job. You just never know what's going to come down the pipe. And what beliefs and attitudes have you accumulated as a result of your experience? Okay, so on page 12, we're going to talk about how the other people have described us, how we describe ourselves, how our family members, how our coworkers describe us. And just in that top box on page 12, just real quick, one word, right? One word adjectives about yourself. Me, I'm talkative. Cheerleader. I'm a little too organized. Rosemary, you were definitely professional. Rosemary, I'd also say you're extremely helpful. You've helped me numerous times. So everything that you're writing here should be part of your self-talk, your self-image, your self-attitude, everything that you truly believe about yourself. The positive things. All right, so somebody on Zoom, type in your words in the chat or unmute yourself and tell me about you. Jason Bill says he's honest. I agree with that. Who else? Nobody else knows what they think about themselves? Jason, Chris Cox says Jason also has the best accent, so, yeah. All right, so Brandon, give me some adjectives about you.
Personable, knowledgeable, like talkative, organized.
So good characteristics for what we do now. Monica, how about you?
I said I'm proud of myself, honest, to the point, trustworthy, professional, nice.
Excellent. Perfect. Nobody's gonna say, I'm a pain in the butt, I'm cranky all the time.
I'm a
That's
pain
what
in
I
the
have
butt
in
once in a
mind.
while.
No, you do not. No, you do not. All right, so we are going to now talk about how others are going to describe us. So think about how your family and friends and coworkers and past coworkers would describe you. Would they match
doing, mate?
those?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. So I'm thinking that to chat with you right now about this being a buy and hold. So I have 3 kids, age 16, 14, and 12. I'm 48 years old, married, and have a primary residence, have a vacation home in the mountains. And otherwise, it's been on my business plan for a while to
Okay, well, we know Jason's got kids, it's been on his business plan for a while, so whatever it is. So write a couple of words down about the things that you think people think about you. How would your best friend describe you? How would your best boss in your past life describe you? This one's hard. It is hard. This one's a little more challenging because, you know, how did they see you? How did you present yourself every day when you showed up to work? Think about the people that love you. What would they say about you? Tammy, nice, truthful and dependable, excellent. Rosemary, loyal and responsible, absolutely. All right, so now when we get out of here, we're gonna look about collecting testimonials and wherever it went, there. Like I said earlier, talking to people that you've done business with in the past. Someone from your accounting job, someone from your IT job, someone if you've had a closing already that you've done your transaction with, okay? Always be looking for the reviews and testimonials to be bragging, I don't like the word bragging because it just has that weird connotation to it. Excuse me, but you want people to know how other people find you. Because in today's world, social media, everybody, is always looking for, they're the best, they're awesome, they're great, they help my client, blah, blah, blah. Well, you gotta have some raving fans. You gotta have some people that are willing to step up and promote you and toot your horn and ring the bell for you. So call your past clients, call the people that you're currently under contract with. KBT, we ask for testimonials multiple times through transaction while they're still happy. They just went under contract. Woo-hoo! Let's ask them how we did. They just closed on their house. Woo-hoo! Let's ask them how we did. Okay. Always be asking for something to be said that you can promote yourself business-wise. Okay. Google My Business page. Put your reviews up there. Your Zillow account. Your Facebook business page. Anywhere that you can put something that comes in, you want people to be able to see it. So we go, we want to work with him. Everybody said he was awesome. Okay. Let's see. All right, so now we're going to go into positioning. Vanessa, would you read that first paragraph for me, please? Page 17.
Oh. Positioning is about standing apart from the crowd. There are lots of realtors who have licenses. There are no other realtors with your unique history and your understanding of your personal validity. There are no other realtors who can articulate their customer service, value proposition, and ultimately their USP as you will. When you are able to articulate what makes you different, you'll be able to powerfully position yourself. When your desired customer base thinks of real estate, they will think of you.
Got it? How does that make sense to everybody? So you're wanting to make sure that those people closest to you absolutely know what you do for a living. The people a little bit farther out from there know what you do for a living, but maybe they need a little bit more reminding once in a while. The people you haven't met yet, you're going to be able to tell them what you do for a living and that you're able to help them. But those people in your core group, your core advocates, they're also going to be working for you every single day. They meet somebody at the gym, they bump into somebody at the dog park, whatever it is. I'm thinking of moving. Oh, my cousin wants to move to town. You got to call Janine. KBT, you got to help, have them help you. They were great. They'll do a great job. So everybody that you're always talking with, it's not just hiding in your house and hiding behind your screen. You've got to be forward facing also. It's hard right now that everybody's shaking hands, not everybody's meeting in public, but Facebook Messenger, texting, checking in with your friends, using your DD2, calling everybody in your contact list, just constantly being in touch with the people that know you, love you, and help work for you. Free lead gen, have them work for you. Okay. So now we're going to define our customer experience and create our value proposition by taking all of the words and all of the phrases that we use to describe ourselves and put it into our 30-second elevator speech. What do you do for a living? Charity, you've been a real estate agent for a bit now. Tell me about your 30-second elevator speech.
I'm a buyer's agent on the Harvard Properties team, and my background is 15 years of architecture and construction. I'm also an Air Force veteran, so I specialize in new construction and help people relocate.
Everybody got that?
Wow.
Right off the bat, she didn't stumble. She knew it. This girl's been working on her speech. You've been in real estate, what, about 2 years now?
A year and a half. Well, I have this license in 2018, but I didn't really do a lot. And that was in Arizona. And when I moved here, I went full-time this building.
Gotcha. So practice your speech. I'm Janine Pugh with the KBT Realty Group. I'm the Director of Lead Generation for our mega agent team. We sold 283 properties in 2021 for a value of about $83 million. We've got 15 agents, full support staff, and we would love to help with your real estate business. You just go. You practice in the mirror. You practice in the car. You practice when you're sitting by yourself. You're constantly getting your speech so that it just rolls off your tongue, so that you don't go, well, I sell real estate, or I work for Keller Williams. Okay, but what else? Okay, so it's just that practicing, it's just like your script practicing. This is one of your scripts. Describe you, what's your 30-second speech?
My name is Nick Muzio. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams in Livingston, North Carolina. I help people buy and sell homes. For buyers, I help them find a house of their dreams, and for sellers, I help them put the most money in their pocket.
Excellent. Okay. You don't have one yet. Okay, so that's gonna be part of your homework. It's definitely working on your elevator speech. Brandon, how about you?
I'm Brandon Eames with Uncharted Realty Group. I'm a buyer specialist. I have a background in mortgages, insurance, and real estate, so I can be your concierge through the whole buying process.
Excellent. Anybody online who's got their elevator speech that they want to share with us? Just unmute yourself. Online's not just today. How about you?
I'm in the states.
Ah,
so I
well,
have to-
Okay, so we're gonna be working on it.
Mhm.
Vanessa,
I don't have one yet.
okay, so make a plan. By what date will you have a 30-second speech? By today at
It's not
5.
difficult, it's just listening to everybody, just get some good points.
So by today at 5,
I can't.
have something written down. By tomorrow at 5, whatever works.
Yeah.
Come, put it on your calendar. I have to have this by. Because this, you don't have to wait for business cards. You don't have to wait to get your website done. This is something you can do for yourself immediately. Okay. So, how many agents do you think get a lead, talk to somebody, put them on an automatic drip, never do anything else with them? Many. That's why everybody unsubscribes from stuff, because the stuff that's going into their inbox either doesn't make sense, the agent wasn't listening to them when they had their conversation, they just threw them on a drip campaign and that's it. You gotta call. Real estate, lead generation, it's a contact sport. You have got to make the contacts. You've got to talk to people, check in with them, see how they're doing, see how they like the properties that you're sending to them. Are they not the right ones? Do we need to tweak it a little bit? Okay.
So Janine,
Yes,
so
sir.
with that, so I'm in the middle of that right now. What would you recommend for brand new or any agent, like frequency of contacts to people that you put on a drip campaign?
Okay, so KBT team rules with the way we work our lead gen. If somebody says that they want to buy a house between now and the next 3 months from now, we are checking in with them at a minimum of once a week.
Okay.
If they're 4 to 9 months out, we're checking in with them every 2 weeks. Just making sure how their search is going, making sure they're still opening our emails, making sure they're still seeing properties that make sense for them. If they're 10 months out or more, we're following up once a month. Because my husband likes to tell everybody, they're not just dating me, they're dating 6 other girls. So I need to be there in front of them when they're finally ready to raise their hand, and I'm doing the Grey's Anatomy, pick me, okay?
So that is for someone that you've actually had contact with.
Correct.
So what about someone who sent in the request to lead, subscribe to our drip campaign, but we can't seem to get them on the phone? We're sending
We're still
emails.
calling.
Calling
We're
every day.
following up
Do you call every
many
day, or-
times. Multiple times a week.
Okay.
For sure. Because they just registered, they're still new, they're still hungry, they're curious about something.
Okay.
So it's a text, it's a phone call, it's an email, it's leaving a voicemail that matches the name on the text, that matches the name on the email. But we are constantly going and reaching out to our attempted contact people. Now, in our system, we can adjust their search based on what they looked at, because we can see.
Mhm.
So we'll tweak it a little bit and think that we're sending them the things that they want to see, but until we actually talk to them, we don't really know.
Okay.
But I am not a huge proponent of lots and lots of drip campaigns with, it's time to plant petunias, it's time to change your light bulbs, I'm not a big proponent of that,
Mhm.
because what I want them looking at are the new leads of the new homes coming out every day. All right. Sure nobody's else asking anything. We're good here. All right, so the NAR, when they interviewed the buyers and sellers, the profile said that 53% of them really just want them to help find the right home. They want to help, 12% want them to help negotiate the terms of sale. That to me seems a little odd. You would think that they would want more help than that. because they probably didn't sleep in a Holiday Inn last night and don't exactly know how to do what they're doing. So help with price negotiations, determine what comparable homes are selling for. Everybody thinks that they know everything because they can look on Zillow, which is unfortunate because they don't know everything. All right, so what sellers want us to do, that first page with buyers, what sellers want us to do are market the home to potential buyers, 23%. You would think everybody would want them to do that because that's how we're gonna get the house sold. Sell a home within a specific time frame. This market, that's not a problem. So when they update these stats, this number is probably gonna change. Price the home competitively, absolutely, and help them find a buyer for the home. I think that goes with number one of marketing to potential buyers. So the seller, you know, the people that answer these NAR surveys, I don't know, they just answer a little strangely. All right, so now we're going to talk about what services do you offer. This is also a really big part of our value proposition. Okay, what do you, if you're on a team, what does your team offer? If you're a solo agent, lean on your market center, lean on the people that you work with. What do? You're a solo agent, correct?
Yes.
You have a full transaction close department. You know that?
No.
You do.
Okay.
You've got people here in the market center who can help handle your transactions for you.
Okay.
You got to pay for it, but you can lean on somebody. So you can use the royal we do this, we have that. You don't have to be doing all of it on your own.
Right.
KBT team, I've got 2 transaction coordinators. I've got a seller services coordinator. I've got a professional photographer who works exclusively for us. She does all our photography and measuring. Got 2 in-house ISAs, director of ops, director of marketing, director of lead gen. We are a full service team. Everything that you could possibly need is all in our 4 walls. It's part of my value speech. All right. So know how to leverage and lean on the things that are available to you here at the market center, here at your office. Charity, you're on a team, your team provides things. Make it part of your speech. Make yourself, don't lie about it, but make yourself as important as you truly are. You've got access to lots of things that make you a step above somebody else. Okay. So look at number, let's go down this list, okay? The biggest one on here for me that sticks out is the number 10. Coordinating a move-in and assisting with post-closing issues. Not necessarily, yes, you want to tell them where to get their cable and their water and how to change stuff over. We want to have a list helping them know who to call to do that. We're not doing that for them. But if there's any post-closing issues, like who do I call to get trash pickup, that kind of thing. But keeping in touch with somebody after the closing, the part of the continued customer experience, okay? You just spent hours with this person, probably in your car. Text 10, 11 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock in the morning. You guys have been attached at the hip for days, weeks, months. Don't drop them like a hot potato. You're not breaking up with them. You're still in a relationship. You're still friends with this person. And you might truly be friends with them. Some people become our friends after we have closings with them. Some of them are still acquaintances, but don't drop them, okay? Stay in touch with them. Have that continued customer experience. Let them know that they are more than just a paycheck, okay? Nobody likes to feel like they were just a transaction. Do you know the man's name, the woman's name that sold you your last car? But you don't remember them. Do you?
I know what was that.
Not quick enough.
The last time I actually went into a dealership, yes, I've done like Carvana and all that.
Okay.
But yeah, calling from Toyota.
Okay, so would you recommend them to anybody that's wanting to buy a car?
Absolutely, I have.
Perfect. How many people can't remember their agent's name? And don't know who to refer somebody to when they say, well, you just bought your house a couple of years ago. Who did you use? Man, I don't remember what that person's name was. Okay. Same thing when we're lead generating. This is mine, but when somebody tells me they have a realtor, I go, oh, great. Is it an agent on our team or is it somebody at our office that I can tell that you're still looking for X, Y, or Z? If they can tell me their name, they're probably working with that agent. If they can go, I know they don't really have an agent. Because if they have one, they're gonna know their name. They're attached at the hip right now. They're in the process of looking for homes, okay? So if you walk away and never reach out again, you're never gonna create your raving fans, that circle of people who are going to work for you for free. And think about it. I just asked you, the person who sold you your car, and treat them the right way, and they will send you business for the rest of your life. They will be a constant source of income for you. You can't gift them anything, but you can send them like a $5 gift card, a note card. Every time somebody refers somebody to you, send them a note card. Everybody loves to get something in the mail that doesn't look like a bill. Okay? I have a lot of realtor relationships. I tag a lot of different realtors on the Facebook groups in different areas that I know would be able to help someone. Yesterday, I got another card, probably my 6th one in a year, from the same group out in Raleigh that I send stuff to her. She sends stuff to me, and we send note cards back and forth just saying thanks. It's great when you get a fun piece of mail like that. If you've got somebody that refers you, a client, a listing, or whatever, send them a note card. Thank you for remembering me. Keep it coming. Love to see you for coffee. Okay. All right, so let's work on, for a couple minutes, writing down the list of things that you can offer. What's your list? Does it look like this? Can you advise on repairs? Can you develop a marketing plan? Can you evaluate offers? If you cannot, make that part of your process of things that you need to work on. Do you have a preferred vendor list? Do you know who you're going to refer your people to if they call you and say, hey, my garbage disposal broke? My son owns a home over in Lantana Crossing. He called me, I called my husband the other day, he goes, garbage disposal's leaking. We're like, got it. We text you the plumber's phone number. We know exactly who we're using. Do you have that list? Make those relationships. Call those vendors, meet those vendors, talk to them, because you'll send them business. Hopefully they're going to send you business. Okay. But you need to know this is part of what you can provide to your buyers and sellers as part of your service. Okay. All right. So your value proposition distills your service offerings into a tight set of benefits for your customer. It says what you're doing for the customers to earn you your commission. People buy benefits. When presented with awards or credentials, the customer asks, so what? Okay, it's really great that we have won top team, top this, top that, blah, blah, blah. But what actually matters to our clients is how we treat them, what we do for them, what we say we're going to do and do it. Okay? Treat everybody the way you want to be treated. So my values, page 24. Professional courtesy, integrity. If you're bilingual, if you're a local, there are not that many local born and bred people here in Wilmington. You're one. I've got 3 on my team, I think. My stepson's local. He didn't even realize that till a couple of years ago. Because we were somewhere and we're like, all right, so where were you all born? He goes, Wilmington. I said, no, you weren't. Well, he wasn't mine, so I didn't actually know. And he goes, no, actually I was. So we have a local in my family. You know, what are your stats? So if you are a solo agent and don't have any stats yet, use the office stats. The office has sold this % of listings this year. Those numbers, Chris, you there? Amanda sends out stats. It's called the lore, the language of real estate. You can get those stats from in here to help you say, the Keller Williams office has done this. Okay, so know the local real estate stats. Once you start getting your own business, know how many days on market did it take for all of your listings last year on average to go under contract. You guys can pull that. You've got listings. How many days, how many buyers? What was the list price to sold price of the houses that you went to? How are your negotiating skills for your buyers? Okay, everybody can get access to that information. Use the collective we, use hours, instead of just my. Because if you come in, you go do a listing appointment, you say, well, I don't have any listings, but I'm gonna take really good care of you because you're the only person I'm gonna work for. And somebody else comes in behind you and says, well, we have sold 15 homes in this neighborhood already. Who do you think the seller's gonna go with? Okay, so use the we, because that's what we have access to. All right, and then on page 25, where is that? Yes, there. All right, these are your list of words to start working into your vocabulary. The things that add to your list, you know, use the word of outgoing, patient, personable, caring, committed, okay? Those are really good words to start working into your value proposition. On page 26, that's where you're going to start working about what your services and your benefits are to everybody. And then we're going to make our value proposition. We've got about a couple of minutes left. Just take the time sometime over the next day or two. A lot of people come into these classes, they sit through them, and I'm super grateful that y'all were here. But I don't want you to walk out of here and not think about it again. Okay, this is an important part of the basis for your business. So really put some effort and some time and some thought into how would you like to say, hi, I'm Janine, this is what I do. Okay, because you don't want to stumble. You want it like charity, roll right off your tongue. Be ready right now, right there, know it, do it. Okay. So anybody online have any questions for us? All right, so Chris, I think, put in the chat, besides the lead gen packet, I think he also put a review sheet. So KW Innovate University is asking for everybody to please help us get better at what we do. And if you would take a couple of minutes and just fill out the review form, because we're always asking for testimonials. Please let me know how I did and how I can better myself and how we can better the content of the classes themselves, okay? And for those online, Chris just posted it. If you could fill that in or print it out and hand it into the market center or scan it over, we would totally appreciate it. Thank you to everybody that joined us online today. Y'all are kind of quiet, but I do appreciate you being here. And let me know if you got any questions. Okay, Chris, we end Zoom. I appreciate your time today. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you guys have questions. My contact information is up on the board if y'all need it. So Chris says we're going to do sessions 2 and 3. The next one will be in April. I guess we're taking March off because of Ignite. So for definite for your newer agents, for the newer agents, Ignite is super important. So it's going to start March 1st. They're going to have some emails coming out about it. It's typically a couple of days a week for 2 or 3 weeks.
What is Ignite?
Ignite is a 12-week class that goes step by step, how to do a listing presentation, how to do a buyer price presentation, how to do lead gen, how to do, it's from A to Z, basically everything that you need. 5 and SFA.
I was just asking if he did that.
No.
You can do it multiple times. You can pop in and out, like if you've done it before. Charity, you've done it before, right?
Yes,
And how many, it's like what, 2 hours a day, a couple days a week or something?
yeah, I think it's, they'll do like Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
It's about 2 to 3 hours and different topics, so different agents from our market center will teach different things.
Yeah, so they'll talk about profit share one day, they'll talk about lead gen, they'll
Oh,
talk
perfect.
about
Perfect.
listing presentations and buyer presentations and how to create your business, how to run a business, because you guys are all now independent business owners. You actually have to know how to run your business, your desk, which, get an LLC, get an S corp, figure out the best thing for you. Because you have to know, where's your money coming in, where's your money going out? What are you doing differently? What do you need to do differently to be profitable? Because, yeah, the commission checks look great, but are you putting 25% aside for taxes?
Taxes.
Taxes.
Well, that's a great.
That's that state above Mexico.
Yes, it is. You were
Yeah,
exactly
yeah.
right. We like that.
I like that answer.
So, thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
It was great meeting all of you. I
Same
really,
here.
really,
Thank you
so much.
Very, very
super
good.
glad. I was a little concerned. I was talking to myself today. So
Yeah.
thank you very, very much for coming in. Hope to see you in April.
Sure.
Thanks.
Have a great one, guys. Thank you.
I'm so glad this was in person. Because I was planning on doing it over Zoom. And I got a text that it was in person, so I ran across town real quick.
Well, I'm glad you came. Thank you. Because Chris said to me, he said, there's a lot of people signing in for Zoom. I'm like, do we need to do it just Zoom? I'm like, no. Some people have said they're coming in. I'm like, okay. And like 2 minutes up, there was like 2 people. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be fun.
No, I love in person. I'd rather do it in person.
Well, welcome to KW.
Thank you.
Have a great time with it and reach out to anybody. Chris is awesome. We're all available to help and answer questions. Doesn't matter if you're solo on a team, whatever, everybody is available to everybody.
Awesome. I actually have a question for you.
Okay,
The training tomorrow at 10, is it only Zoom or is it in person as well?
it's in person as well.
Okay, good. I'll be
He
there.
likes it in person.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, I mean, Zoom is,
It was hard to pull Zoom in.
it
now.
is. It
They-
is.
they were
We're-
not-
What we're doing next is, we're gonna put another TV in here so that you can not have to pull attention, so that the presenter can not have to pull attention away from that and can kind of see.
Okay.
That's just gonna be, I don't know how great your vision is, but a TV back there is gonna be tough to
Something.
read, but it'll be something.
to hang in there.
That's what I had thought originally. That was my idea, and I got overruled.
Well,
You need one of those
I
clear
get lots of
teleprompters.
Yeah, what's that?
It's
Well,
you
we
need one
want
of
to
those,
be
like,
able
clear
to see,
teleprompters,
we
like-
want to be
Yeah,
able
yeah.
to see the people that are on Zoom. We want to be able to call on them. But, I mean, most of them have their videos
Camera.
off anyway.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
Would it be possible to put it on that TV?
except that I use it. The presenters use it
What
more.
I have seen other training rooms do is have, so we can hook that to like be this screen
Yeah.
and then,
But you still gotta turn around and look at it. It would be better to have it be
yeah, to have it